Boy, they said this day would never come. The people were holding their fists up high, going, "No, screw you, big man upstairs, corporate greed and all that stuff. You'll never be able to take away my games, and we will just take yours and make them better." And that's pretty much what Palworld did. They took a game like Pokemon in a sense and did some things around, made some things a little bit like their own, and added a lot more to it than what Pokemon has to offer. Because let's be honest, Pokemon has roughly been the same since its incarnation. The only things that's really changed is some of the 2D assets, and then evolved into 3D, and then added more Pokemons over time, changed some Pokemons, and then rinse and repeat. It's not really like the most evolutionary in a sense for a game for in that caliber. So when Palworld came out earlier this year in January, they not only did they have like a small list of pals, but they also, the lights kind of did a weird thing. They also added much more depth to it: base building, leveling, tech trees, combat, things that people would probably want to have in a Pokemon game, but Pokemon refuses to do so because, they can just regurgitate the same thing over and over again and get money out of you, right? So Palworld kind of was a breath of fresh air, where when it was released, 2 million people about bought and played the game, myself included, and thought it was pretty fun. I didn't play it for too long, but I still roughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was not bad. But as time went on, player count went down, things got a bit stale. They came out with updates, but life goes on in the day of modern gaming, right? Something new comes around the corner and takes the wind out of a game like Palworld, right? But never to the fear of those who stuck around. Like I said, they continued to update the game, added more content to it over time, fixed bugs. These people, Pocket Pair, the developers, were diligent and ready to make sure that this game would be the successful child that they created, even with the small player count that it currently has right now. Now, when the game came out, a lot of people were worried that this was just a scam, that this was an asset flip, that this was possibly copyright infringement, because when you look at a lot of the PALs, they're roughly similar to some of the Pokemons that exist. I mean, even to the point where some of them aren't even trying to look any different. And some people reached out to Nintendo, mainly Pokemon fanatics, because let's be honest, the Pokemon fanatics were kind of hoping for Palworld's downfall because they didn't like the fact that an asset flip style game was outpacing player counts to a game that they love. But they reached out to Pokemon and Nintendo to see if there would be a lawsuit, and at that time, they didn't have much to say. They weren't worried about it at the moment. They were aware that it existed, but they were not going to do anything to Palworld or Pocket Pair at the time, at least from what we know, because many months have passed. I mean, we're in September, for Christ's sake. And we all assumed that they were immune. They had nothing, right? I mean, as months have passed, and with its release or its reveal in Summerfest 2023, so at least a year's worth of time, so much has passed to where people thought, okay, Palworld is immune. They're not going to do anything. Because if Nintendo wanted to do something, they would have done it right then and there. Because let's be honest, Nintendo is ripe at doing things the lawsuit way. If they so much as saw that you had a tattoo of Mario on your arm and you posted it on Twitter, they would come over to your house and saw your freaking arm off and then take $1,000 out of your bank account. Not even $1,000, they'd take your entire freaking bank account. Let's be real. But that big dream of Palworld being immune from Nintendo's grasp ended up crashing down as of a couple of hours ago, or as of yesterday at the time of recording. So Nintendo finally decided that they would sue Pocket Pair, and they would sue them over copyright infringement, patent infringement, on the basis of that some of their assets look fairly similar to how Pokemon plays out. And to the surprise of everybody, even the global community manager for Pocket Pair, who deleted a tweet that he sent out with a smiley face for the Tokyo Game Show that he tweeted out to, everybody is upset. At least those who were fans of the game. Because let's be honest, as a game, it was much more fun than any Pokemon game that I've ever played. Because again, Pokemon's just the same thing over and over and over again. So Palworld adding that depth made it a lot more fun. So it's obvious that the people who have played the game and who still play the game or have memories of playing the game and actually enjoyed it are rightfully upset that this is happening. But what can you do? It's freaking Nintendo. It's freaking the Pokemon Company. They're going to sue if they can have the ability to do so, and they will sue. If they're going to take out non-profit Smash leagues because they just want to, what makes you think that they weren't going to go after Pocket Pair for Palworld? It was just a matter of time, and it's unfortunate that it's this late in the game, and some people are even speculating that it was amply timed for a couple reasons, one being the Tokyo Game Show, and they didn't want Pocket Pair to be involved in any of that stuff because they didn't want to compare the two games at the Tokyo Game Show, because it's coming up soon, so might as well hit them now. And according to some people, according to this tweet, which I'm translating, so please, bear with me here and take this with a grain of salt, that apparently the Pokemon Company issued a patent a couple of weeks ago explaining the game and how players can capture items, shoot out Pokeballs into the field, hit targets, captures are determined, and if successful, the field character becomes the player's possession. So take this with a grain of salt, right? Because this is coming from Twitter and it's screenshots, so assume that this is real. It seems like Pokemon created a patent to make sure that games that are similar to how Pokemon functions can violate the patent infringement, at least in Japan. I'm assuming this is in Japan. The United States has some different patents that they have obtained, but if this is true, and they issued this patent, and were granted it, then for some reason, Palworld is violating it, right? Now, I don't know how Japanese law works. I don't know if with the issuing of this patent that Palworld is retroactively violating this patent. I don't know if this patent has existed beforehand and they had to renew it. Yada, 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 yada. Either way, Nintendo is coming after Palworld, and it is kind of sad that this is happening because, a lot of people have bought the game, a lot of people have enjoyed the game, and now the big company is strong-arming the little guy, even though lots of people have their opinions about Pocket Pair and how it's asset flips and ripping other games and all that stuff, right? Regardless of that fact, it's Nintendo being an ass, once again, making sure that they are putting their foot down on other companies and people who actually want to enjoy games that are fun and not games that are just carbon copies of each other every single year with a different name, with a different thing inside of it that looks different but is actually the same exact thing over and over and over again for the same exact price as it is every single year, with it never going on sale. And I could go on and on and on forever about how Nintendo, even though they do make good games at times, is kind of a shit company. And they know it, and they know you'll buy it. And when they shut down, if they shut down, because I hope it's an if, but good chances that it could be a when, they shut down Pocket Pair or make Pocket Pair delete or change any of the assets of Palworld to the point where it's unrecognizable or you can no longer play it, then that just proves that Nintendo is just, the big dog in Japanese video game industry. Nintendo just dropping the hammer on a small company that is just trying to make video games fun. Actually fun video games, not the same slop every year. Yeah, well, that's pretty much it from me, so sad, but that's just the way how it is, unfortunately. Nintendo's just going to do what Nintendo wants to do. So, if you like this kind of stuff, leave a like on the video. Comment down below, what do you think is going to happen to Pocket Pair or Palworld as a whole? Do you think this was the right move by Nintendo? I don't know. That's just how they're going to be. So subscribe to the channel too. We're almost at 100. We're like this close. And then follow me on Twitch too. I have a Twitch channel now. I'll leave a link down below, or check it out on my homepage on YouTube, wherever that is. That's it for me. I'll catch all of y'all later. Peace.